Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, this is awful. Not off to a good start. Welcome to the last video of the month. I did it, guys. I did 31 videos. I clearly am astounded of myself because I never thought I would do this. I can't speak. I'm having trouble processing my thoughts. Today, as you can see, we are outside, which means there will be some background noise, there will be cars, there will be birds, there may be some sirens, but we're just gonna deal because I just wanted to be outside because it's warm. I mean, it's not sunny, but look at what I'm wearing and I'm warm. So I'm so excited about that. I'm sitting outside, I'm clearly very hyper, and I'm gonna read you a list of things that I've learnt from VEDIM. Firstly, I would just like to say, let's get a bit closer, let's make this more personal. It's been a journey, hasn't it? It's been a bit of a roller coaster ride. There's been ups, there's been downs. Okay, that's enough of the cliches. There's clearly hasn't been a breeze, but I do feel super elated right now. Elated? Is that the word I'm looking for? You know what I'm trying to say. So I have written a list of things that VEDIM has taught me, and without further ado, I'm just gonna read them off. Let's have a happy little reflection on myself. What? Things that VEDIM has taught me. Number 1, I'm very impulsive. So basically, it was around February the 25th, and I was watching Dodie Clark, who, if you don't know, is a popular YouTuber who decided to do VEDIF, as in vlog every day in February, and I'd been kind of following along with some of the videos but not really watching all of them, and she made this one, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was, but I just remember thinking, this looks so fun, she looks so happy, she's gonna look back on this in months or years to come and say, wow, look at this brilliant time capsule I have of my February of 2017 from when I was 21 years old. And I was like, I want to do that. And with no other forethought, with no other planning, I just went, yep, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do VEDIM. And that impulsive side of my brain just took over, and the practical side of my brain was just thrown aside. Poor practical side of my brain was like trying to be like, yeah, but Rosie, like, think about this. This is a very big thing you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to do planning and like whatnot and all this. And impulsive Rosie just went, woohoo, this sounds exciting, let's do it. So I jumped into VEDIM, and within like 3 days was like, what have I gotten myself into? I didn't give this any planning. I have no idea how to do this. I have no ideas for videos, I'm boring, and already I was getting all this like self-doubt, all because I'm just the most impulsive person in the whole world. So that's something that VEDIM has taught me. I think maybe I don't want to lose that, but I should be more aware of the fact that I'm impulsive, and I can sometimes just like jump into things because I'm excited about them and don't give them enough forethought. So that's the first thing VEDIM has taught me. Number 2, I'm obsessive. Alright, so just hear me out. I've never been diagnosed with OCD or obsessive behaviour or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure that I have an obsessive personality. If you just look at anything that I've liked in my life before, we can see a correlation of my obsessive brain. The first one that comes to mind is Harry Potter, because most kids say they're obsessed, but they weren't Rosie obsessed. They wouldn't be 7 years old and setting their alarms for 5 o'clock in the morning so they could wake up and read before school because their mum wouldn't let them read late before bed. I mean, yeah, that was me. And everybody else who says they're obsessed with Harry Potter will read the books many times, but nobody else will read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on for about 5 to 6 years. I'm not kidding. There was a period of my life when I was just reading Harry Potter over and over and over, and my family can attest to this. I was so obsessed, it was worrying, but that is just who I am. I'm an obsessive person, I have obsessive personality, and I just am obsessive, basically. So I think I already knew this about myself, but VEDIM has taught me that sometimes obsession cannot be healthy for you. So for example, in my first VEDIM video, I made a point to say I might not make a video every day because I knew that the obsessive side of Rosie might see it as a competition with myself, as like a challenge to prove myself to myself, if that makes sense. And so I think Rosie on the 1st of March was trying to be like, okay, future Rosie, do not stress yourself out by getting completely obsessed and immersed in VEDIM and having it take over your entire life. But you know what? That didn't work. Obsessive Rosie still came out and took over everything, and everything was suddenly thrown up into the air, and my whole life revolved around VEDIM. I am not even kidding. Whether it revolved around VEDIM in a positive way or in a negative way, it didn't matter. It was revolving around VEDIM. It was so all-consuming, and my obsessive brain was just going for it. Just going for it. So yes, that's something I should probably take more notice of in my future. Just the fact that I am super obsessive, and not to let it get me too stressed about things, because it can just take over my entire life, as obsessions do. Number 3, I am narcissistic, and I don't even feel embarrassed to admit it. Clearly, I must be narcissistic if I've just spent the last 31 days filming myself, editing my face, and putting it out onto social media, not to mention making posts about it saying, hey everyone, come and watch my new video featuring me. I mean, clearly I must be a narcissist if I'd spent the last month doing all of that. But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think maybe VEDIM has helped me to realise how narcissistic humans are able to be in this modern world full of social media, and it's helped me to get a handle on things and just realise that there are other things out there that don't involve you, and that you are not the centre of the world, and that not everybody cares about everything you're doing every day. I think that came out a bit wrong, but what I'm trying to say is that it's healthy to love yourself but it's unhealthy to base your self-worth off how much people watch your videos or like your Facebook posts. So for example, around day 10, when I started noticing that I was getting like very few views, I thought that because I had 282 subscribers, I would be getting 282 views every day, but that's just not how YouTube works. Not everybody will like every video you upload. But once I started basing my self-worth off that, it became kind of scary. And after a few days, I just stepped back and I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter if 2 people watch this video or 200 people watch this video. I'm doing this project because I just want to see if I can. That is good, but you should not base your happiness around how many likes of your Facebook status you get or how many views you get on your most recent VEDIM video. It doesn't matter. It just, there's bigger things to worry about in life. Number 4. I don't know myself as well as I thought I did. Okay, so we're going to bring down the tone a little bit now, and we're going to broach the topic of mental health, and I'm just going to say I did not realise how weird I was. And I use the term weird because I don't want to feel like I'm imprinting labels upon myself that I haven't been diagnosed with, because I've never actually been formally diagnosed by a doctor with anxiety or depression. I just know I get physiological changes in my brain and in my body, and chemicals and hormones, and very bad things and thoughts happen to myself. At the beginning of this month, I thought that I knew everything about myself. I thought that I knew what made me anxious, what made me depressed, and how often I feel anxious and depressed. And I thought that on a spectrum of like 1 to 10, 10 being really bad and 1 being like not so bad, I thought I was maybe like a 4, a 3 or a 4, and it was like manageable. After VEDIM, I've suddenly realised I am not good with handling my mental health alongside any sort of important or big project. And I sort of surprised myself. You know, even in that first week when I was confused as to why I was already having stressy days and anxiety days, I didn't realise how easily triggered I was. And I know that sounds really like cliche or whatever, but I didn't realise how much work I still had to do on myself. Which sounds really dramatic, but basically all I mean is that I just hadn't thought about it as much as I think I should have done. I just don't think I'd been treating it with the respect that it needed. I think I still do feel shame around the idea of having anxiety or any other mental health issue, which is not a good thing to feel. You know, mental health is not something that should be shameful. I shouldn't be embarrassed to say I have anxiety, or if I did have depression, to say I have depression, whatever I may be feeling right now. And I said this in a previous video, become friends with your mental health, and maybe someday you can figure out how to manage them, because I know that many mental health problems aren't curable or maybe chronic, but managing a mental health problem is so important. And I thought I had it all down at the beginning of this month, and I clearly don't, because I've been so I don't even know what the word is. I guess in a positive way of looking at things, VEDIM has helped me to realise that I should focus more on managing any issues that I may have. Not to like squash them down, but to let them happen and know how to just give them a bit of a hug, you know? Give your anxiety a hug today. Number 5, I am exhausted. Again, this is a bit of a downer, this one, but I've written in my notes, I have not relaxed in nearly 2 weeks now. Again, because I'm obsessive. Somewhere along the line, I decided I would rather be stressed and exhausted than skip a video. Somewhere along the line, I decided I would rather eat porridge for every meal because it's either that or skip a video to go shopping or to cook. I haven't eaten properly in 2 weeks. I cannot remember the last time I had a day where I had a breakfast, a lunch and a dinner. And even if I did, I can't remember the last day where that breakfast, lunch and dinner wasn't like cake for breakfast and porridge for dinner with like a random snack in between. I somehow let the obsessive side of my brain take VEDIM and go, hey, this is way more important than eating or sleeping or looking after myself. And now I'm just exhausted, and I cannot tell you how excited I am by the prospect of finishing VEDIM. I am proud of myself. I am happy that I did it. I wouldn't go back and tell myself not to do it because clearly I've learned a lot about myself, but I am so excited to finish it and to not have to think ever again about VEDIM. Something I was thinking about earlier is that making videos for me has always been a time capsule sort of situation. I've never had this experience of it being like a challenge or like even like a burden. Like it's almost been a bit of a burden towards the end of VEDIM to keep up with it just because I wanted to achieve something, and that's not why I make videos usually. You know, before VEDIM I would say every video on my channel is only there because I wanted it to be there as a time capsule of 17-year-old Rosie, 18-year-old Rosie, 19-year-old Rosie, and like any experiences that I've had. I've noticed that during VEDIM many of the videos have not been time capsule videos. They've been weird things that actual YouTubers do, like what's in my makeup bag, or like my nighttime routine, or just like things like that that I never thought I would make on YouTube. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing that I've made them, but it's definitely pushed me outside of my comfort zone and made me realize that that's not what YouTube is to me. YouTube could never be a job for me because I would have to start making videos that I don't necessarily want to make or would even watch back myself. So on that side of things, I don't even know where I've gotten to in this conversation now. I'm just rambling. I'm happy that I've learnt my place within the YouTube community. I am not a YouTuber. I am somebody who makes YouTube videos for myself. Yes. I just had an identity crisis and solved it all in the last 3 minutes. That leads me fluidly on to number 6, which is clearly I can't multitask. I mean, I was just talking about the fact that it was either make a VEDIM video or eat dinner, and I chose make a VEDIM video. Clearly I can't multitask at anything in my life, and I think I've always known this. Everyone always says that girls can multitask better than men, but I have no ability to multitask, like zero, and that's really come out in VEDIM. Anyway, last but not least is number 7, and the 7th and final thing that I've learnt during VEDIM is that I am determined. And that's a really nice thing to learn about yourself, because some of these things that I've been talking about are quite negative, like, oh, I'm really obsessive and I should probably work on that. I'm impulsive, I should probably work on that too. I am bad at multitasking. I have mental health problems that I should probably deal with a bit more. And finally we get to number 7 and we get I'm determined. And I think I didn't have much faith in myself before VEDIM. I wouldn't have described myself as someone who was particularly determined before VEDIM, However, now I feel like I could easily describe myself as someone who is determined and not feel like I was lying, which is a lovely feeling. I decided to make that the last thing on my list because now I can bring VEDIM full circle and say that nevertheless, she persisted. Feminist quotes! Woohoo! I made a connection. This is so English literature student, it's unreal. Ugh, I'm exhausted. I did it! I finished VEDIM. I did it, guys. I can't believe it. I honestly can't believe it. I feel like dancing. I'm not sure you could particularly call that dancing. I just needed to get it out of my system. Anyway, I can't believe I'm ending the last VEDIM video. Eee! I'm so excited. Just so you know, this doesn't mean that I'm going to stop making videos. I already have 2 other videos that I would like to make within the next week or so. You will not be seeing the end of me anytime soon. This isn't the end, this is only the beginning. How dramatic. Before I do go though, I would just like to thank anybody who watched any of these videos. Whether you watched 1 or 31, it was great to have you. I feel like I've been inviting people round for dinner every night for the past 31 days, and sometimes there's 12 people round for dinner and sometimes there's 80 people round for dinner, but nevertheless it's been great having you here. Hope you enjoyed your time. I didn't want to end VEDIM without thanking everyone who has been so helpful along the way. You know, there's been those few people who I have known but not really spoken to before, who after watching one of my VEDIM videos has reached out to me and said, I liked this video, thought it was cool, and I've gone, thanks, that's great, and that's really helped spur me on to make more videos. So thanks for that. Hope you enjoyed the videos that I've made. Doesn't matter if you didn't, but you know, it's always a hope that one wishes to fulfill. I'm having so much trouble rounding up this video, it feels super weird, but without further ado, I've had a good day. I hope your day is as good as it can be, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!